Today I'm going to be going over basically everything that we know of Sonic Superstars and of course some other stuff that we now know. Obviously we're going to be going through a 9-minute gameplay snippet here, basically going through what we saw there, and then also I'm going to be talking about stuff that we received from Tails' channel, basically talking more about Sonic Superstars. We're going to get into everything in this video, so make sure you stick around to the end because we're going to cover everything that we know in a full week of news for Sonic Superstars. I've been basically waiting a bit just so that I can put it all and put it into a summary for a full-fledged Sonic Superstars video, so let's get right into it. So obviously right here is the start of the gameplay here of the Superstars, and right off the bat everything just looks very smooth. It definitely looks very traditional to 2D Sonic games that we've gone in the past, and obviously as you can see here there's a lot of different pathways, different sections to go through, so this game definitely is going to have a lot of different pathways and I'm interested to see what all of them potentially lead to. A lot of them probably going to lead into the same way, but I'm still very curious to see what they're all about. Obviously, we're obviously seeing here a bunch of different moves. We are obviously seeing a lot of different enemy types here, which are great. And obviously, we see Sonic's character model here, which looks incredible in this 2D game that I'm very excited to see. Now, this has a countdown timer, and it seems to give you rings, but I believe it could potentially give you other stuff. Maybe, but from what we've seen in this gameplay snippet, it does seem to only give you rings as of currently. So here we obviously have Sonic running, but if you see up here in the top left, you see something already forming into what seems to be a tape-off spiral here. Once you pass obviously the checkpoint, you obviously see something spiraling up in the air, and then once Sonic continues to run, it starts to form even more. This obviously screams to me some type of special stage area, because usually in Sonic games, you know, the checkpoint usually is a potential place where they are going to have these type of special stage types. So if we take a look back once again, you see Sonic here, of course, then he starts to run, and then obviously we see it forming once again up here. So I think clearly there's definitely going to be a special stage once again, just like how they were in Sonic 2 and Sonic Mania, some type of checkpoint special stage here. I'm curious if that's going to be where the Chaos Emeralds are going to be, or if it's going to be at the end of the levels. I'm very curious to see once we get more news and hopefully more confirmation of how the Chaos Emeralds are going to be collected in this game. Now, another thing too, Sonic has his running animation when he's at full speed from Sonic CD. That's awesome, of course. I really love that running animation. It's probably one of my favorite running animations from the 2D Sonic days, so that's even also incredible there. And also, there seems to be so much platforming going on in this game, which I do love, because I feel like if you're doing a 2D Sonic game, I feel like 2D obviously has to have a lot of platforming going on, a lot of stuff to make sure that you're getting through in a smooth way. Of course, that's what makes 2D traditional, so I love the complete platforminess of this game that I'm already seeing. And again, let me just talk about the backgrounds for a second. They look so vibrant here. I mean, obviously, also, let's go back here. We see the enemies here. Very interesting right here. They look like bullet bills from Mario. I mean, those look really cool. Basically jump over them, then they crash and explode. As we see, obviously we can see right here, their parts pretty much get destroyed. You see the parts right here of one. You see obviously one of the Flicky / animals popping out. And then obviously up here as well, you see the Flicky right here, and then all the parts of that Badnik is all pretty much done, which I like the animation of right there. And once again, I mean, this section looks very crazy. Again, the sections here in this game looks crazy. Now this is what I want to talk about, because here you can see Tails in the background here. Again, I'm assuming he's going to do something with this back here, but I'm curious to see what Tails exactly is doing back here. Now, I believe, from what we know, I believe this is the second zone of the entire game that they're showing 9-minute gameplay of, but I'm very curious to know what Tails exactly is doing back here. Now, here we do get a boss battle, and I do love the very incredible nature of this boss battle. It has great and creative ideas, which I think this definitely screams to me that there's going to be a lot of creativity that came within the boss fights, because here we obviously, it shoots out a wire, you spin dash on that wire, and then you basically get the hit on it. And again, just really great. Obviously there's two phases, it seems like, in boss battles, because there's another one also in this video that shows that the boss has 2 phases. This gives me Sonic 1 vibes with the final boss battle at the end of the game. Obviously the orbs, they usually go in your direction to try to hit you, but here they just go straight down, which is something right there. Then you spin dash here, of course, and you get the hit right there. But again, Interesting that it has multiple phases. It starts to try to get harder and harder because now look, they implemented spikes here to obviously try to make it harder. And also I really like Sonic's fiery nature here. I mean, he seems very prepared to take down this boss and stuff. And also I really like that it's a huge ass fucking flicky that you're saving with these boss battles again. Obviously they're all here at the end with the goalpost, and also he does his animation from Mania, which is just incredible. Now here we are seeing this is another level, I believe, within the zone. I believe this might be an Act 2. Now this is interesting right here. It seems that he has like this type of butterfly, obviously giving him a bit of light so that he can at least see a bit in this section. But it's interesting that you see around here, this whole area is grayed out, and he can only have this bit of circle in order to see his point of view, to see where he really is. So again, I'm curious, this reminds me of some levels within Mario when the lights are out and you basically have to find your way around the level, and that really reminds me of it. Now personally, it looked like it wasn't that big of a section there, but I'm curious to see if later on in the game they have bigger sections like that, because obviously the whole purpose of sections like that is to create a challenge within the level. So if they do have more sections like that, that is going to be really interesting here. Now this is another thing obviously I love to see. They are trying to implement backgrounds, and obviously you playing in the back, but also having still you can see paths forward from you. Here's another one of those countdown timers here where you hold on. This gives you rings. Again, I'm assuming they only give you rings here. We obviously see the boost panel right there, and then we obviously see once again another one of these sections where everything is grayed out and he has to basically get around here. Again, a very cool section indeed here. Obviously it's trying to perform a challenge because of the seeable viewpoint that you have here, but again, it's cool. Also, this animation looks really cool. This definitely gives me Sonic 1 vibes here, of course, because obviously we all know the animation when he's going really fast and when he tries to stop. It definitely gives me those types of vibes. Obviously he's here trying to look back, see what's going on. Again, the animation there looked pretty unique, I will say. Thought it would be a different animation because obviously like right there, when you go back to it, it's when he's falling here and once he lands, it's just automatically like it's just him right back to his normal pose, which again, it's whatever. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but still, wish there was at least a bit more there, but it's kind of like whatever, right? I mean, it does not really end of the world. Anyways, yeah, I mean, again, there's so much going on. I mean, you see his quills moving, you see the animation of him spin dash there again. You see so much great stuff there. Now, this is another thing I would like to talk about. This ring, I'm assuming, is another form of a special stage here. This very huge blue ring. I'm curious to know what it is going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be a special stage type, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to assume that these are around the levels, and you have to basically find these in order to try to go to the special stages, and I believe these will have the Chaos Emeralds in them. So that will be great, of course. But now here is a really crazy section, and there's like a lot of badniks here and a lot of ways to get flickies. I'm very interesting if there's a lot of enemy placement like these around the levels in the game, because this is like a crazy section here, just having a shitload of enemies there. And then yeah, pretty much, I mean, continues on with the level. There's more obviously grayed out section here, trying to make it a bit harder. But I think you get the gist of the gameplay. I mean, it seems like your traditional 2D Sonic game, obviously with brand new levels, and obviously we're going to get into, because there are a few new mechanics in this game, but from what they showed gameplay wise, once again you see the full circle here, way better actually. Let's go here, right there you see it forming. Obviously this is indicating the special stage with the checkpoint special stage, but I'm curious to see more. I want to see more footage of the Chaos Emerald powers, of course, because each time you get a Chaos Emerald, you get a new ability, which we'll get into once we get into the Tails channel news that we did receive. But that is very interesting to me, of course. Now this is a huge section, a huge drop fall right here. I mean, this is typical of something I feel like I would see in the 2D Sonic game nowadays. And now we get to the boss, which, once again, here's Eggman, the boss battle here. Now this one, of course, looks very interesting. Let me show you here. So it goes around with these bars that it has within between, and then it tries to stomp you 3 times, and then that's when he brings out his wire. But his wire works in a way where wherever Sonic jumps, or wherever he is at that position, is where he's going to drop it, and that's how you hit him right there. Now there's a second phase to this boss where he'll go around like this, kind of like a swing per se, where he's going to swing back and forth and you have to jump when he gets into your area, and then he does this about 3 times, I want to say, and then he goes back up and pretty much shoots rockets at you. You have to hit the blue one and then it goes back to him. And that's basically the boss battle. I mean, it's a cool concept, of course, these wires, and then the whole section with the rockets. I mean, that's really great, of course. And then you obviously see the blow up of the machine. There's Eggman right there with his jetpack flying away, panicking. And then the gate opens up, and then that's it for this area. And I also love this right here, obviously showing off the capsule right here. Getting the flicky saved, but it seems like it has something sort of like a jackpot mechanic there, which I'm curious to see what that's all about. But obviously, great animation right there, and that's it for the gameplay. Again, this is 9-minute gameplay that we got from GameSpot, but I did want to show it off here in this video because I want to break it down basically so you guys get a gist of what this game has to offer. Again, it's very vibrant, the background designs are incredible. I mean, look at this background design here, you can definitely get great vibes from this. It's very colorful, very vibrant, and the game seems to be a lot of fun. It's definitely going to be a 2D traditional Sonic game, and it definitely looks to be a great time. Now I want to get into the Tails channel news that we dropped. He dropped this basically a few days ago, and I wanted to basically go over it. So out of the blue, a new Sonic adventure is on the way to be released this year. This revealed during Summer Games Fest, during the showcase, when they came back from a commercial break. They actually showed this game. This was one of the first reveals after their first commercial break. To the surprise of fans everywhere, a new core Sonic title was just announced at this year's Summer Games Fest. Sonic Superstars returns to the classic side of the Sonic franchise, a new title featuring old foes and new dynamics, which is incredible. So this is what we do, what to expect. Modern visuals that are only possible with 3D graphics, bringing new zones, gameplay, and experiences. Now, we've obviously got a complete gist about that with the 9-minute gameplay. We obviously saw 3D graphics, bringing new zones, bringing some unique gameplay here, and bringing a very interesting experience, because obviously with the Chaos Emerald abilities that we now know is going to be part of this game, it's going to add into the experience of this game. The gameplay in Superstars will feature movements, physics, and controls that will feel familiar and appeal to newcomers as well as fans who have been following the franchise for a long time. So obviously that as well, that is pretty much what we got also from the 9 minutes. I mean, it does look like your typical 2D traditional Sonic game, except obviously it's in a 3D look as a 2D game. So side-scroller, and appeal to newcomers, which is great because obviously Sonic was built on starting with 2D during the Genesis days, so we could still build that just for the new players, just like how I feel like Frontiers kind of did that, where I think it was a good introduction to a lot of stuff. I think this game can do that as well. And as well as fans who have been following the franchise for a long time. And I feel like Sega now, I feel like they understand how to combine both together to try to introduce newcomers into the series so that way they can enjoy and experience the franchise just with us, while us long-term fans who have been with the franchise for a while, we are still getting what we want from the franchise in the modern day. Because honestly, this 2D game pretty much is what a lot of us wanted. A lot of us were expecting a 2D modern Sonic game, but this still is incredible. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Rose are all playable, with each utilizing the focus on speedy gameplay in a unique manner. Sonic Origins Plus, which is coming out in a few days with the update, I think is really going to set the wave for Amy being a playable character in 2D games, because now I feel like they know what to put as the core gameplay for her. Obviously having her Pico Pico hammer where she jumps and basically swing it around so that way she can take down enemies with herself. And obviously we now know Super Amy is canon thanks to Sonic Origins Plus, which is going to be insane to see. But yeah, I mean, this is really incredible to see. Obviously all 4 playable, and yeah, fan favorite character Fling the Sniper is back, making this his first physical appearance in a game of the franchise since 1996's Sonic the Fighters. A bunch Sonic characters. That was their last game, and Fang was one of them. To see Fang come back into this game is just insane. I have been somebody who loves Fang as a character in the Sonic franchise. To have him come back is going to be fun and incredible. Sonic and friends will face a brand new enemy designed by Sonic the Hedgehog co-creator Naoto Oshima, maker's first work on a core installment in the Sonic franchise since 1998 Sonic Adventure. Now this is huge news because obviously Naoto Oshima, last time he worked on something this big of scale was Sonic Adventure. Now I'm interested to see if more and more down the road we see potential developers or people who worked on Sonic games in the past if they are willing to come back to work on more games. Because I think that's going to be playing a role if we ever get a Sonic Adventure 3, or even more games from back then that use the core mechanics of the games from the past. And I think that this could be that starting point. Players will be able to use the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds to unlock new abilities such as creating clones of yourself, climbing waterfalls, and more. Now the waterfalls and the clones we saw during the announcement trailer of this game. We didn't really fully get to see that in this 9-minute gameplay, but we did get snippets of it during the announcement trailer, and those looked incredible. Again, each Chaos Emerald giving you a new power. That's a creative and a great idea, I think, for this game, and that just makes getting the Chaos Emeralds even more rewarding, in my opinion. Local 4-player co-op for the campaign, with players being able to play solo or cooperatively with friends during the campaign. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a bit disappointing because I was really hoping that this game would have online 4-player, because, I mean, obviously, yeah, like local 4-player, like that's awesome, but I just really wish, this is not only for this game, it's just like more games as a whole. I wish we could have more games that allow online co-op, because obviously a lot of us want to play with our friends that aren't really near us, but we want to play with them, obviously, but sadly this game won't offer that. But there is an online mechanic within this game, as it says here in the last bullet point. The game will also feature a local and online battle mode where players will be able to challenge anyone around the world. That is going to be interesting, of course. If you guys did know, during back then with Sonic 2 especially, there was a lot of modes that you could play as two players, and obviously it was more like these type of competitive modes and stuff. So I'm getting that type of feel from the online battle mode, challenging anyone around the world. There even could be maybe a ranking system with how people beat levels and how they approach them. But yeah, and then obviously the final thing, Sonic Superstars is expected to be released digitally and physically in fall 2023, starting at $60. Great, doesn't have to be $70, it's perfect at $60 in my opinion. I think there's a lot of effort put into the game, and I hope it's lengthy enough to really give us a lot of content. The game will be available on all major PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, as well as on PC. So all the major platforms will be picking up this game. And then finally, the last thing I want to cover in this video is actually, I'm getting this picture from the fandom, but we do have a new character revealed, and we do know who it is, and his first appearance will be in Sonic Superstars. And in my opinion, incredible that we're getting so many new characters. I mean, we just recently had Sage, now we're gonna have Trip. Trip is this character right here. Obviously we'll zoom in so you guys can see more of him, but as you can see, this is his model. Again, very unique type of Sonic model. It's very different than what you would expect here, but again, it looks great. I'm excited for this game, of course, to see what they have in store with him and how he's going to play a role in basically not only the game but also in the story of it. And I have a feeling that he'll potentially be a playable character in this game. I think when you beat the main game, maybe they put him in the game as another playable character, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, that's basically everything that we have to go through in this video. Again, just wanted to put everything together so that way we could fully go through everything that happened with Sonic Superstars and what we know about it currently. When more news comes out, of course, I'll be making videos of it, and also expect potentially a live stream from the channel if there is a Nintendo Direct happening soon. I really hope that we get a Nintendo Direct soon, because obviously want to do some more Nintendo content as well. Obviously, Sonic content is right now what I'm focusing on, hopefully doing more of currently, because that is what I want to do. But of course, I'll also put some Nintendo stuff as well if I can, and hopefully sandwich it all together. But that is it. Got a lot of stuff coming soon, and I'm very excited to see what we have in store.